We can't even go to check on their house.
Holy I've never seen anything like this in my life.
This was our place, our home.
5, 6, 8, 10 houses in our neighborhood just gone like that.
It appears to be a total loss. It's unsafe for us to go inside.
It's apocalyptic, it's chaotic.
Everything is on fire. Everything's on fire.
It's like a bomb was dropped on them. That's from the LA County Sheriff. At least 5 dead, more missing. The sheriff says soon the canines will be coming out to sniff through the charcoal. It's the most destructive fire in LA County history. 30,000 acres, more than the size of Manhattan. $50 billion in damages. Thousands of homes, buildings, and businesses burnt to a crisp. 180,000 people have been forced to evacuate, and they don't know when or if they're coming back. And Joe Biden's making fire jokes.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
Indeed. Thank you, Mr. President.
Biden promised that the federal government is going to be paying for everything in California for the next 5 months. People are asking, is that why California doesn't do anything to prevent fires? Because they know you and I are going to bail them out? Back at the scene, fire victims are chasing down the governor and getting in his face. Watch this.
Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I would. I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not.
We'll be talking to that mom in a little bit. But did Gavin just fake a phone call to get out of talking to a voter? Is that what we're doing now? I'm on the other line with the president. Just trying to get some cell service here. It's a big call. It's too late. What's Biden going to do? Make it rain?
We saw an apartment building engulfed in flames. I saw the fire engine pull up this afternoon, a fire captain have one of his firefighters attach a hose to a hydrant, and that hose didn't fill up, Alex. And I asked the captain, out of every 10 hydrants you attach to today, on average, how many are you getting full water from? He says little to none. And it was at that point that really the whole crew stopped, looked up at this apartment building, and they realized there was nothing they could do.
Even CNN is saying, Governor, why can't we put out the fire?
What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades, it ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local.
Gavin's like, the water always runs out with big fires. What do you want me to do, grab a hose? I'm only the governor. Newsom slashed the budget for water projects. He blocked the move to bring water into Southern California, and he started tearing down dams. He hasn't built a single reservoir. The last time California built a reservoir, almost 50 years ago. Instead, they let billions of gallons of stormwater just wash into the sea. The hydrants wouldn't be running dry if they stored the stormwater. LA ranks dead last in the West for saving stormwater. This whole episode symbolizes liberalism. It doesn't build anything. It only destroys. Gavin should say, the buck stops with me. I'm governor. I'm on it. Instead, he doesn't accept any blame.
I hate to even ask this question, but the president-elect chose to attack you, blame you for this.
It's, 1 can't even respond to it. I mean, it's People are literally fleeing. People have lost their lives. Kids lost their schools. Families completely torn asunder. Churches burned down. This guy wanted to politicize it. I have a lot of thoughts, and I know what I want to say. I won't. I stood next to a president of the United States of America today, and I was proud to be with Joe Biden. And he had the backs of every single person in this community. He didn't play politics, didn't try to divide any of us.
People's homes are on fire, and they're having to put it out with garden hoses because the politicians can't. The mayor, Karen Bass, knew the Santa Ana winds were blowing, and the National Weather Service was warning her there was a chance of extreme fire. And she still hops on a plane to Africa to go to an inauguration of a president she's never met. It's a 17-hour flight, so she knew if something happened, it would take her like a day to get back. The press is starting to speak up for the people. Listen.
For several hours, we watched as hundreds of homes in a neighborhood burned to the ground. We did not see a single fire engine. You were out of the country at the time. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that when rest assured, let me finish. We will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual.
Bass doesn't respect you. She's not going to answer your questions. She's just going to wait 6 months and release some whitewashed report pointing fingers at everybody else, even though she's in charge. Bass didn't even have an evacuation plan. They were warned about this a week ahead. Actress Sarah Michelle Gellar wrote, City of LA, you want everyone to evacuate, yet you have complete gridlock and not one traffic cop on the roads helping. People got trapped because all these politicians, they know how to run for office. And once they get in, they don't know how to run anything. The mayor of LA couldn't even give out a simple website address.
Make no mistake, Los Angeles will rebuild stronger than ever. Right now, if you need help, emergency information, resources, and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL.
URL? The mayor can't even tell people where to get help during an emergency. Who was in charge when Bass was in Africa? This is the deputy mayor, Brian Williams. But he's been placed on leave because he's under investigation for calling in a bomb threat to City Hall, where he works. It's like he was trying to get out of taking a test. So who was in charge during the early hours of the worst fire in LA history? It's like the White House. No one knows who's in charge there either. This is so embarrassing. It's aggravating. This country has hit rock bottom. These are the leaders we voted for. It can't get any worse than this. The mayor can't communicate. The governor can't get water to a fire. That's California politics, though. You pay 13% state income tax, and they can't put out a fire. Where's the money going?
They spent $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what did they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Zip.
And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel.
And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And you're out of your mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Personally ruined it.
People and businesses have been fleeing California for years. Now you understand why. They have a drug, crime, homelessness problem. But if you're a wealthy California liberal, it doesn't affect you. Inflation doesn't bite. The migrants keep your lawns nice. Crime doesn't get through your gates. You drive right by the homeless. Your money makes you immune from liberal governance. Until now.
All these people who were deep blue Democrats are now going to have to pull a permit to rebuild. And they're going to get the 28-year-old from the Coastal Commission telling them to go off. And then they're going to vote for Trump or whoever's Trumpian next, they're going to find out, they're going to get bit by their own snake, they are going to convert. I am telling you, these are the bluest people on the planet, and they're going to be ripped when the city and the Coastal Commission tell them to off.
America's reaching a turning point. We don't have to live like this. We deserve better. The entire country is starting to grapple with the reality at the same time. All races, all classes have gotten a taste of what it feels like to be ignored by dumb politicians who never deserved our vote in the first place and were never up to the job. This country used to do things the right way. We used to be able to build things. We used to be able to protect fish and have enough water to fight fires. We used to be able to take care of the mentally ill homeless and the people who had homes. We promoted people based on merit and tried not to discriminate against people who were different. It's not that hard. Isn't California tired of learning this lesson? Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.